Okay, finally we are live.
Yeah,
Yeah, we are live now. Okay, so guys, really
we are
sorry.
live and alive.
So guys, really sorry for the whole back and forth. These things happen. You can't trust technical devices. Um, but not to keep, not to waste anybody's time anymore. If there's anyone watching us at all, thank you so much for coming. My name is Mike, and this is my business partner, Stephen Bwete from Kirooto Consult International. And today we will be telling you go about opportunity polls, opportunity card visa. Um, and this is called the Chancen Karte, which essentially is one of the ways in which Germany is encouraging highly qualified skilled workers or skilled professionals to come to Germany. So the goal today is to take you through the steps of these new visa type or routes to come to Germany. And we will give a few moments just to see that we get more people coming, and we'll like just share the links around so that everyone would get on board. But we are live, and yeah, it's good to be alive. Steven, you go ahead while I just make sure that everyone gets the link, and then I think in 2 minutes or so we will just kick off with the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike, for the introduction. My name is Stephen Bwete. I come from Uganda originally. I live and work in Germany, and I'm very excited today to be here and to speak about the opportunity card. As the name suggests, this is about opportunity, and there are lots of things that we're going to be discussing about when it comes to opportunity, particularly focusing on Germany. What you should expect in this session is you'll get to know what this whole opportunity card means, giving it also a context. Why is it right now that Germany is coming up with something like this? And we will share with you some of the legal, the immigration laws behind that, and how does it work out, the so-called point system, and the basic requirements for those who qualify or to qualify for the chance Carter, and what does this benefit you? How does this benefit you? And then what is the process and how long would it take you to get this? And also what are the legal and the regulatory employment requirements that needs to be fulfilled? So overall, that is what it should be about. But the overall theme is opportunity and focusing on Germany as a place of opportunity. Yeah, I think that is it from my side, Mike.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. I think everyone can see us and we are live. So I'm gonna open the presentation so we can kick off right away, Stevie. Just with further introduction about who we are, what we do, and then everything will just kick off. So um, I'm going to open from my side, and I think you can also open from your side as well. So meanwhile, guys, feel free to just drop a comment so we know where you are watching us from, and if everything is working technically okay from your side. You never know. But I think so far everything all looks good, and yeah. So let's see.
So do you see my screen, Mike?
Yeah, I see your screen. So I'm going to put you on stage now, and then your screen is going to become visible. So,
Okay.
yeah. So now you can go ahead and, yeah, proceed. So if you make it in full, then it's everyone can also see it.
So from my side, it's actually full. The only thing I can't see myself, I don't know now.
So it's
I
full.
assume
So
that it's
it's not in the presentation mode yet. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Leslie, for confirming that from LinkedIn. So, Stephen, we got someone who confirmed from LinkedIn that yes, they can hear and see us. So that's good.
Can you see it now?
So I see it, but it's not in the presentation mode. So
So
maybe I
how
have.
about if you share it from your side then?
Sure, I can share from my side, and let's see that. Yeah. But did you put in presentation mode already?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Then let's do that. I'm gonna set it up also from my side.
Otherwise, I could just share the PDF file. I don't know if that would be better.
No, let's see. So share slides from my computer. Don't access again. So guys, thank you so much for joining. This was the first time that we had something like this, and as you can imagine, with the first time of something, there are always some kind of technical issues. But I'm happy that we are fixing it now, so that's good. So I'm uploading the slide on my sides too. Great. So it takes a while, and then I'll put it on stage. Okay. Can you see the chat? Because if you see the chat, you see like what people are commenting. So add on stage. So tell me, what do you see now?
I see the chat. Yes, I see the chat now.
Yeah. And you see the presentation?
Not, yes, it's coming, but though not yet full screen.
Okay.
Okay, I have made it full screen from my end.
Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, but still it's visible. One can see that.
Okay, good. So if you want, you can proceed now then.
Okay, so like I said, yeah, my name is Stephen, and I'm very excited, first of all, to know that there are people following, even though there were delays due to this streaming platform. I guess you're all here because you want to know about the opportunity card and what is in it for you. So do me a favor, every minute, wherever maybe you give us a thumbs up or a comment to say like you're still following or it is visible. But Mike, if you could scroll to the next page, we can go through the agenda.
Yeah.
So like we already say, the agenda is going to focus on first time understanding what this is all about. So opportunity card is all about simplifying the access to the job market in Germany, meaning that non-EU members can also qualify to come and join the German job market, provided that they meet certain requirements, as we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about this as an immigration, in the context of immigration, what is the effort towards, and why is Germany doing it right now? So, Mike, if you could scroll further.
Yep.
Yep. So briefly introducing ourselves, my name is Stephen, and I am the founder of Kirooto Consults. And my main interest usually is career and study guidance. Mike is my partner here, is the founder of 3 companies, OJIRA Soft, which is a digital solutions company, Settling, which is could be called the Facebook for migrants, for diasporans, and Japado Travel, which helps in the migration space. But together we have a platform that is called Opportunity Pulse that brings together all these different services so that members or interested candidates don't have to go through all the different platforms to see, what if I need this, where do I find it? So briefly about us. The most important about us is both of us and the team have a migration background, and we understand what it means to walk the journey from the start, all the processes that you have to go through, the visa process, the arrival, and then the challenges of settling in. And I think that's the inspiration behind Settling when Mike started that. So
that's right.
Let's go on, Mike, if you would. Yeah, so just briefly to explain what this is all about, the Chancellor Card is a very significant part of the German skilled labor, new skilled immigration act, which was basically designed, which is meant to simplify the process of migration to Germany for non-EU members or non-EU candidates. As you can imagine, a couple of years ago, probably some of you might not have been born or were born. By the time most of us came to Germany, there was some kind of segregation or discrimination on the market that when you graduate, normally the job would be given to a person from Germany, would be considered first, and besides that, they will go to the EU member state candidate. And then if that person does not qualify or not interested, then that job will be given to a third party nation. That was a very unfair process. And over a period of time, these things have changed that when you apply on the job market, provided that you meet the requirement, there is no discrimination whatsoever. And this applies to those who have graduated here. Now, for those who have finished their studies abroad, things still were not very easy, because when you apply for a job to study and to come and work in Germany, you needed to go through a very thorough screening process. First of all, to confirm that your academic documents are recognizable, are equivalent to a German diploma or a German vocational or a German bachelor's or master's. And that process alone can take ages. Could take between 3 months, 6 months, and in some countries could take even a year, depending on the power dynamics between Germany and your country where you come from. So the opportunity card is coming in basically to simplify that process, that people who are not from the EU can qualify in two categories. One, you can qualify to come to Germany, one, on a job search visa. Basically, you have no job contract, you have no offer at all of a job, and you have a chance now to come to Germany to look for a job. Now, that process alone has a certain requirement. The second one is that you can apply for this opportunity card, which opportunity card would simplify even the search, meaning that you qualify under certain point system. The point-based system means that minimum of 6 points, you could become a very potential candidate to qualify. This card gives you a 1-year chance to stay in Germany with a chance to extend it up to 2 years. Or even more, depending on the ability and the effectiveness of your job search. I think Mike wants to add on something.
Yeah, exactly. So just to add to that, Stephen, when you mentioned that, something came to my mind. Because there's also the job seeker visa, which is very similar to these. What's important to note is that the difference between the job seeker visa and the opportunity card visa is that the opportunity card visa, it's a lot easier for the people to get. But what's even more interesting is the duration. The job seeker visa is usually for up to 6 months, in which case, if you do not get a job within the 6 months, you have to go back to your home country, maybe reapply or whatever. However, for the opportunity card visa, or the opportunity card itself, as it's called, it's up to 1 year. And then there's also the possibility for you to extend that 1 year for another 12 months under certain circumstances. What's even more interesting is that the requirements are a lot more lenient, in the sense that depending on the kind of ties you have with or in Germany, the things you've done in Germany before, you're married, your age, we are going to come to the point in a moment. So all these things also add up for you. So I wanted to just chip that in so that one can know the difference between these opportunity card visa and the job seeker visa.
Correct. Now that you are also talking about the additional benefits or the extensions of the job search visa, the other aspect which is very friendly, better than the job search visa, beside the 6 month, you have 1 year extendable, but also you're allowed to take a part-time job up to 20 hours, which is not allowed in the job search visa. You're expected to come ready for a job or offer the job, and if you're not able to rely on your finances, or you have basically to have finances to live on, and you cannot take a part-time job, you can't even have this probationary 2 months or 2 weeks. Now here you have a chance to take even a 20-hour job, which substantially can actually enable individuals to be able to finance their stay while they're looking for a professional job.
Yeah.
So if you could go ahead.
for sure.
Yeah. So, Mike, I cannot see very well that particular page, but
Yeah, I think you can maybe read it from your own side, because also here it's a bit small on my side too. How
all
does
right.
it look like for you now? I think it's completely small even right now for me too.
Okay.
Yeah,
So basically, what this is all about, if I may read it from my side,
sure.
it's the point system that we have just been speaking about. So, as I said, you can come to Germany if you have a certain qualification. And this good thing about this, you can check whether you meet or what level or how many points you have on this scale.
Yeah,
And the most important points that are potentially gainable would be, first of all, that you have a qualification. So you have a chance to gain 4 points if you have a university degree or you have completed a vocational training. That alone can give you an extra benefit, because with 4 points, you have a chance to increase your chance. As we say, the minimum of 6 points that you
yeah,
need in order to be considered as a viable candidate for the opportunity card.
yeah,
Now, a bachelor's degree from a recognized university, or a degree that is offered by a German university, or a vocational course or training that is approved by the Chamber of Commerce and Industry would be considered for that sake. Particularly important would be if you have a vocational that is part or considered as part of the occupations that are facing shortages. And this is a very important part. There are some jobs that Germany is there looking for skilled laborers are looking for
yeah,
in the area of health, in the area of child care, in the area of teaching, doctors, in some technical jobs and IT. These are areas that are considered occupational, very short supplied labor. And this would give you an extra 1 point in addition to the 4 point, right?
yeah,
Talking about the degree being a recognized one, for that there will be a link that will be given or shared here, so you
yeah,
can check whether the degree you obtain is from a recognized university. There is a platform called Anabin where you can see the name of the university you finish the course, if it is recognized, or in Germany. And later on, it's very important because you have to do the qualification accreditation later on. But already you can see if your university that issued that bachelor's or diploma is considered as an H plus,
yeah,
that means it has a very valid, is credible here in the German context. But we can go into that maybe later on in the question.
yeah,
Yeah. So then you can gain again 3 points by having an experience. The Chancellor card or the opportunity card actually puts much more emphasis on the issue or the aspect of experience. So you can gain 3 points for having work experience that aligns with your formal qualification. If you have worked 5 years in the last 7, let's say 5 years in your professional working experience in that qualification that you're trained for, this gains you 3 points. And then another aspect that is very important that will gain you points is the age aspect. So
yeah,
you can acquire 2 points if you are 35 or younger, and 1 point if you fall within the age range of 36 to 40. So this is not in a way to discriminate people who are 36 and above, but it attaches much more value to the younger you are, the more chances you have, because Germany, of course, is looking at you as a potential worker.
yeah,
And the age of pension here is 67. So the older you come into the system, they are, of course, mindful of the fact that you might work less year, let's say 27 years, and already you are in pension.
yeah,
But considering inflation and the cost of living, perhaps you have not saved enough for your pension within those years. So the younger you are, the better.
yeah,
And doesn't, however, restrict anyone who is above 40 to apply, but it only says you earn 2 points if you're 35,
mhm,
if you're between 18 to 35, or if you're 36 to 40, you only have a chance of gaining 1 point.
Yeah.
The other aspect, Mike, that is very, very critical gaining this is the language.
Yeah.
Language skills are highly valued, and you can actually attain 4 full points if you have the proficiency in German language to B2 level. And if you have a C1 in English, which is actually not an issue for most students who qualify from English-speaking countries, you have a chance to write IELTS or TOEFL or any other exam that are recognized that you can show proof of English proficiency. Now, remember, there are other requirements. So you can come and apply for a job search and all in job search visa, and mostly you have a chance to improve your language here. But here they are saying if you have a higher level of language proficiency, then you have a better chance of gaining more points. And this is very, very important. Even if those who are able to come here and you only have A2, probably you don't have the full 4 points, you have only maybe basic language like A2, you have a chance during this 1 year to continue improving your language skills, right?
Yeah.
And then another aspect that I believe might not apply to so many people who are planning to come for the first time is that you could also gain 1 point if you previously stayed in Germany. You could get an extra 1 point. Say, for example, there are some people who have done voluntary service. You came to Germany for a language program. You came to Germany to study or for something that has a learning experience. Then you gain an extra 1 point, provided that you stayed a minimum of 6 months. However, you should know that if you come to Germany on a tourist visa, maybe for the first 90 days and again come back for the next 90 days, this does not qualify as previous stay experience. Of course, it adds to your international exposure, but it does not qualify you for that.
Yeah.
And the last aspect where you can gain a point if you have a spouse or you intend to come with a spouse who also has the qualification or who meets the above requirements. So the above requirements mean maybe your wife or your husband has a bachelor's degree or has a diploma or a vocational training, which aligns in the shortage labor, skilled laborers, for example, or the wife or husband has a minimum of 3 of experience, let's say 5 years experience, or your husband is between the age range 18-35. So all the above requirements or the language requirements, so you still can gain 1 point extra.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So
Then,
Mike, you want to add on anything to that?
Yeah, so I think you already covered most of it, Stephen. It's just important for people to understand the basic requirement, and that's why I was showing that slide of the basic requirements again, because there is the basic requirement, like 4 of those points, which you already mentioned, the 4 other things which you'll begin to then get the points. So it's important to know this. But again, I can also imagine that, yeah, you will not really get everything from this presentation at once. By the time you begin, it gets clearer. But for sure, we have put the information together. We also have it on our website. And if you're watching this now, you can be sure that after the event, later on, maybe latest by tomorrow, you'll receive this slide with all the links. Actually, what you see here are links which are clickable, but we cannot click them to see here. And that being aside, then there's also just a separate documentation itself with all the links. So no worries at all.
So Mike, maybe if I may add on one particular item, I keep getting always people who have CVs and they are putting experience. Say they are asking here for at least 2 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
But you find most of the time students or applicants or career seekers who put on their experience with a lot of exaggeration of experience, put 17 or 15 years of experience. But one thing that you should know when it comes to this, you need to show proof of that. You need proper references.
Yeah.
So it's better to have less years, let's say 2 years or 5 years, but with references With references, I mean employer, when did you start working, what were you doing, how long, and what were the tasks. Then it's all about the potential employer also to understand, are your experiences, are the skills and the tasks that you delivered relevant to my needs? So this is very, very important. And then also on the aspect of language, even if they just say German language level A2, minimum of A2, you find that each job requires a certain skill, a level of language skills. So this should not make you comfortable, but keep improving your language skills, right? Because the higher the language level that you have, the better the chances you have to get a job, ultimately.
Yeah, totally. And I guess everyone can already see this. What are the benefits for you as a potential employee in Germany? So there is, as we mentioned from the beginning, it's a lot easier and also fast entry into Germany. And the stay that you get is also a long-term stay, so which gives you ample time to search for a job. Not to mention the fact that during the process, you can also have a mini job to support yourself, which can also be like a means of sustenance or livelihood for yourself to earn money. And then as soon as you get a job, it's also the pathway for a permanent residency, and also possibly, not possibly, actually permanent residency and citizenship down the lane, because by meeting this requirement, you already in advance meet some of the requirement for the German citizenship. So that's also something to keep in mind. And then, so it also comes automatically with your work permit, because again, that's actually the aim for you to get a job. So there's that guaranteed work permit that comes along. And then coupled with the fact that, just one point, Stephen, coupled with the fact that you already have some work experience, again, those things which give you the points. So your prospect for getting a job is even increased already, meaning you are not like an entry level person, but your prospect for getting the job is already very high. So these and many other benefits that you can think about for this opportunity card. Yeah, Stevie.
Yeah, so sorry, Mike, I wanted just to recap on you shared the screen about the requirements, right?
Yeah.
But it's very important. You mentioned the three basic requirements, and I think the last part of the requirement, the proof of finance.
Yeah.
So the proof of finance is very important, especially for those who are planning this. It means you need to plan this ahead of time. So the minimum requirement is about 1,027 euros per month. Like, this is according to the current living standards, that the expectation that you should be able to afford at least the normal day-to-day cost. Because assumption is, of course, you're allowed to take a part-time job, but you're not going to no guarantee that you're going to find it on the first day you arrive here.
Yeah.
Even if you're allowed to take a 20 hours job, like, to be able to finance yourself. So this proof of finance, let's say if you're applying for 1 year, then times 12. So you should be able to plan around 12,000 euros. That is something that is very, very critical that you should plan with, right? And if you are even seeking now to come with a spouse, then you have to multiply by 2. So that means for you who is planning to come with a spouse, you have to strategize now and say, is it worth for me now to go with my spouse, or first to set up the ground, and then the spouse can join me and so on? Because of course it increases the financial burden on any applicant who is seeking this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I wanted just to add on that point.
Okay. So now we go to the process. You want to say something again, Stephen?
Yeah, perhaps the last possibility for those of you, let's say you have a relative or a person that is already living or working in Germany, there is a second possibility for proof of finance. That means you have to do the so-called Verpflichtungserklärung.
Yeah.
And that is the guarantor who promise and confirm that he's capable of taking care of the cost of living while you're here, while you're taking care, while you're searching for a job, or while you're here looking for opportunities.
Yep. So there's that one. So in general, 2 of them. So the blocked account or the sponsorship letter from someone who's going to make that declaration for you. The method to apply, it's pretty straightforward. again, you just need to sit down and then check out all the requirements, make sure you get it. And so you also see the link here where to apply. It's actually very easy because then you would have like a pre-check to see if you meet all the requirements. And then the next step would be then to submit your application with all the necessary documents. What's important to note is in as much as you apply here online, you also have to think about the procedure from your home country, how the embassies in your countries deal with the process. In some cases, it's easy to secure an appointment, to submit your document, and maybe there won't be an interview. In other cases, there might still need to be an interview. So it really depends where you are, where you come from, and also what's the situation of the German embassy in your
Right.
home country. But in general, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's not difficult at all. And again, feel free to come back to us or in the group on the website to ask your questions if you get stuck along the way, and we're definitely very happy to help and answer the questions. Then there's also the timeline. The initial processing time is around 4 to 8 weeks. But again, this is just in a normal situation. In cases where there are
Yeah.
like a lot of applications, then no one can actually tell you the time it takes, but the people from the embassy. So um, do not make your plan so tight around this timeline because it may not necessarily be the case. But I think what's more important is that you have all the requirements and that you send in your application as early as possible.
Right.
Um, then I think the next important point now would be the duration and what are the rules for the opportunity card or the transfer card. As we noted earlier, so the initial duration is 1 year, which it's really great. And one tip that we can give you here is you do not actually have to wait until you submit your application before you begin to apply for jobs. So we'd even
That's
pay you if you start getting connected with German companies, companies in
absolutely
Germany that you'd like to work with, because again, this is how you show proof of what you're already doing. This it may not necessarily give you the 1 point if you have some ties in Germany, but then adding that to your application would also show that how soon you most likely are going to get a job. But that being aside, it already creates a simple way for you once you are here in Germany. Those companies that you've been interacting with, it's like, guys, I am here now. I'm coming over. Let's talk. And you're already familiar with the whole job atmosphere and all that. So it gives you also that upper hand. Stephen, you want to say something?
you just to emphasize the point, you really mentioned the right point. Do not wait to come to Germany. During that 1 year, first of all, you're confronted by all kinds of culture shocks and
Yeah.
language barriers and so on. You're trying to survive, and the cost of living is high. So make enough prior research before coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are an IT specialist. You are front end, back end engineer. You are electrical IT specialist. You are whatever you are interested in, health or in business or in retail. Try already to find companies within those sectors that are looking for jobs. And the good thing already on this platform, one of the links that Mike has already shown, there are already a database of companies that are looking, extremely looking and highly looking for skilled labor. So already make contacts with those. Find out what are their requirements. Already design, draft your letter of motivation or your application letters, your CV. And also, Mike, maybe this is an area that we can definitely help optimizing those applications according to the requirements of the employers ahead of time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
enabling you to make sure that when you come here, it's more of you meeting those employers, because that was the disadvantage for before for job seekers, that you had to make efforts to meet and to talk to employers virtually, and some are very skeptical of this virtual thing. Now you can come here, you can talk to them,
Yeah.
but at least have an idea of who do you want to meet, what do they deal in, what are their company sizes, and what do they offer, and what is the value that I bring to this company.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, then there's of course the probationary employment. So this again, it's a normal thing that you would face anyways. The initial period where you work, and then the company checks, okay, hey, how do you work? How do you fit into them? And not to mention, it's also a time for you to also see how you fit into the company culture. I think people have to also know that this probationary period is not one-sided. It goes both ways because you might also not like the company within that time. So it also gives you the opportunity to easily go out. Um,
And
but
it's
yeah,
paid. Mm,
of course, and it's also paid. Yeah.
mm, yeah.
Um, then there's also the flexibility, which we already mentioned before, especially in comparison to the job seeker visa, just in case you're wondering. So for both employers and employees as well, it offers quite a very flexible mode of working with the company. Um, then, so yeah, over 40% of the people, they have the chance to extend their stay and secure like a long-term contract. Because for some people who already have these, they start first with a temporary contract with the company. But then after this period, you see that you get even a longer work contract or even a permanent work contract. In many cases, it's very common that you get a permanent work contract right from the beginning, especially if you fall within that category of um, um, professions that are very highly sought after. So, like IT, engineering, or medicine, nursing. So these categories are, if you the companies hires you, then for sure you can be very sure that the chances of getting a long-term contract, if not a permanent contract, is very high.
Yeah. Mike, just to even add on that, the 40% chances of extension, this definitely applies one, like what you've said, if your qualification aligns with those shortage skilled labor professions, but two, your ability to show like you're able to integrate in the society. By integration, how capable are you to integrate, to learn the language, also to follow the rules and regulations, to respect the laws, making sure that in that particular year when you're here, you're really on the right side of the law, avoiding getting into troubles, because all this is like the government is giving you a chance, but also putting you on probation. And the people that normally fail through that are those that come and they think you've arrived. They You start trying to find how do you beat the system to your benefit. The I would say the killer part would be going into social welfare or anything that does not add value to the
Hmm.
government or to the economy. Then you know the chances of extension are going to be very bad.
Yep. So I think with this, we've come to the end of the presentation. So here are just again some useful links which we will share with you after the whole session. So everyone who's watching this or right now or watching it later, you can be sure that we are going to send you this presentation. So just in summary, once more, this opportunity card is another way that Germany is making the means of coming here legally a lot easier for people. And this also should tell you how much value you have as a qualified professional. So if you've ever thought about experiencing life abroad in Europe, for example, maybe you could think about Germany. And what's important for you to also know is that you are needed here. And what that translates to is you having to check your profile and see if you meet all the requirement, and if you do, and if you feel like Germany is a place that you would like to come experience life, short term or long term as you may, then definitely give it a shot. It also becomes easier if your spouse or partner, as the case might be, also meets the requirements. Then it just makes it easier for the family, as the case might be, that you guys can also easily move to Germany. Um, but I would also like to just mention before we wrap it up is the need for you to already begin to build your network in advance. And this is also why we have this session. So feel free to connect with us across the different social media platform, wherever it is you're watching this from. Don't be shy to ask questions, because by the time you begin the process, it's going to get a bit confusing, and that's where you should reach out to us. Um, that notwithstanding, we're also happy to provide different services along the way. You just have to mention to us where exactly it is that you need help, and maybe we're able to provide this service directly or in collaboration with another partner that we work with. But I think everything is pretty straightforward and it's something that you can do yourself. But should it happen that you need assistance, please feel free to get in touch. Stephen, any final words from you before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just to sum up what you just said, this is an opportunity for you to legally come to Germany to beat that process, that long duration of recognition of documents and process of finding contact with the employer that were connected to the job search visa, now making it legal and accessible for well-intentioned job seekers to come here and find their luck. So now you have an opportunity. And the good thing is that Germany needs you.
Yeah.
You have a value that you're offering. They need qualified, skilled workers. And the demographics, the change in the demographics in Germany is making the situation so tough and making it actually attractive and advantageous for you to come to Germany. So you have a chance to use this opportunity. The first thing is to look into the requirements and test your ability to join and find maybe how do you stand on this point system that we just mentioned. And then if you don't meet those requirements, seek assistance or guidance. Ask us, how can you learn the language? How can you improve on this and that? And then we'll be very happy to help you in your journey to finding your luck on the German job market. So it was great talking to you. And I hope and I wish I could have some questions from the audience. But if not, we hope that we'll still have an interaction at a later stage. Thank you very much.
Definitely. So guys, thank you once more. We're going to end the live stream now and see you around.
See you.